Yeah, I think we're happy with the defensive performance in Philly. I thought we came out in good structures. We came out aggressive, and you saw that. So I think building on that, but also in the attack, we were kind of held quiet. I know we were a couple moments away from maybe those being bigger chances, but the reality is that didn't come to fruition. So that's what we're going to kind of look at this week, and then kind of refine what we did well. But very pleased with the defensive performance. I thought the guys flew around. I thought we created a lot of problems for Philly. But yeah, I think over time you just got to be able to connect on a transition moment or a moment in the box. Obviously score a goal and then change the game, because as we all know, goals change games, and that's what happened. So yeah, so just picking up from the positives and then getting back to the pitch and working on the improvements and what we see and how we can make that happen in this next Atlanta game.
Yeah, I'm sure every coach has their own ideas that they want to implement. How do you sort of balance wanting to implement some ideas, but in knowing that there's a limited amount of time to sort of let stuff bed in?
Yeah, I think that was more last week. I think I got a little more time this week. Last week was such a short week, and kind of knowing what came into last week in terms of what happened. We were just trying to get through it, get the right mentality, prep as much as we could, but really it was only a day and a half, 2 days of prep that we really had, where we just wanted to hone in on something simple, and I thought we did that, and I thought it showed. So we didn't want to change too much, just because of exactly what you're saying, because of the time we weren't able to, but I thought the things that we really did focus on, it showed, and we just want to do that again, replicate that, and then hopefully the attack, defense, transition all kind of are running fluid.
You're back home this week. Obviously there's been a lot of talk about the home form this year. 2 home games left. How eager is this group to go out and perform for the home fans before the season's done?
Super eager. It brings a smile to my face, because I just can't wait to be out there and perform in front of the fans, and we're going to give them everything. We know what they want to see, and we're going to try to provide that, and we will do everything in our power to do that and have those fans leave the stadium with that good feeling of 3 points. That's what we want. That's what they want, and that's what we're going to try to make happen.
You talked on Saturday too about missing some of those attacking pieces.
Mm-hmm.
You get Dorr finally into Foxborough this week. How important is it to get him into the mix, and how was it just getting him on the field for the first time?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I think he, spoke to him. He's obviously had a whirlwind of, last 3-4 days in terms of getting here. But now that he's here, he's comfortable. Spoke to him this morning. He's got Eli. He's got a familiar face. We have, like I've said, an incredible locker room. So he feels very welcomed, and we just want to, give him freedom, give him the ability to express himself, and not hold anything back. So we'll provide him that platform. But yeah, we're excited to see what he can do. Obviously did well today on the pitch, but great day of training. So it was not only him, the entire team. I love the effort, love the mentality, and excited for this weekend's game.
And in terms of Atlanta United, what are some of those key things that you guys are preparing for this week as you get ready to face them on Saturday?
Yeah, I think they are a very I don't like to look at where teams stand in the standings just from the standpoint of, as I've said over and over, MLS is such a league of parity that you can't just look where they're at in the standings. At the end of the day, they have a very talented roster, a high budget, and if you look at the last 4 halves that they've played, other than the first half in Columbus, they played Columbus very well, scored 4 goals on them in the second half, and then obviously San Diego's up there in terms of how good their season's going, and they gave them a tough test too. So it's one of those where we don't look at where they're at on the standings. They've had a great three halves basically. They've had a really good performance. But with that said, obviously the Columbus game, there's something to look at there, and then in past games that we played against them, there's something to look at there. So we'll definitely try to exploit those things that we see, but obviously a very good team that we'll take into consideration when it comes to our prep.
Yeah, I think the attitude should be stay as positive as possible and finish these 3 games off as strong as possible. It's not going to be easy. Obviously we still have good opponents in front of us, and we have to take it seriously and be competitive and we still have a lot to fight for. Our own respect and our own pride, and show the fans that we're still committed to this club.
How you feeling physically?
Good. Yeah, it's been, when a season goes like this, it's hard to stay. You got to stay mentally into it. There's always these ups and downs, and you have to battle through these moments, and it's not been easy. But I thought, as a collective, you see the work we put out there. The results haven't gone our way, but you can see the effort we put out. We do it every week, and we're still trying to win games.
Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
And Matt Dorturgeon came in today. Obviously not a ton of time spent with him, but what were those first impressions like, and what was it like training with him today?
Yeah, it's early, but he looks really clean on the ball. Very forward-minded, very aggressive. He scored a couple goals today, and he was clean on the ball. So, in an hour session, not much to see so far, but he looked good.
And thinking of these last 3 games, why is it so important, for you guys, looking forward to next year to finish these last 3 games strong?
Yeah, it's just, we have to show respect to the club, to the fans, and to ourselves and our families that we don't give up, even though the season, in terms of making playoffs is done. We still have to go out there and show a good product of ourselves and the club.
Just asking about a couple of your teammates. Alan's a guy we've seen get some minutes over the last couple of weeks. Obviously plays a similar position to you. What kind of progress have you seen from Alan over the course of the past 6-7 months?
Yeah, it's been nice to have him through the course of the season, and I think he's learned a lot. He's a raw talent. He's got, in terms of just like things you can't teach, he's a big body. He's very talented on the ball, and he has a good head on his shoulders. He really wants to compete and show that he can play at this level, and he always has a smile on his face, which makes me smile.
And I know a lot of fans were happy to see Andrew Farrell on the field, albeit briefly this past weekend, but I talked with Pablo about it after the game, and he said it wasn't a token appearance. That's something that he's earned with what he's put on the training ground. What is it that you see from Andrew on the training ground?
It's the same Andrew that I met, when I first got here. Has that energy, and even when he hasn't played a ton of minutes this year, and even last year, he still brings that energy to the group and that level of maturity, and whatever's thrown at him, he always plays with that kind of mindset. He's someone you need to have in the locker room, need to have on a team, and he's been pushing us even when he's not been playing. He's been pushing me all the time and demanding more, and I couldn't ask for a better teammate and friend.